Good morning. Happy Friday. Friday's finally here. And today we're talking about how carbs do not make you fat. Carbs is like, it's almost like a bad word. We all kind of dread them, I feel like. And I want to tell you why you don't need to dread them. Okay, so today if you come on and you're watching the video, please say hello so I know you're here. And catch the replay, #replay, so I know you're here and I'd love to say hello to you. So it's a chilly Friday morning here, so I have my nice warm coffee, my coffee concoction with cinnamon and nice peppermint oil. I brought my peppermint oil to show you today. See if you can see that. I absolutely love it, and it is a great anti-inflammatory, and it really kind of just, you breathe it in and it just kind of wakes up your senses and it gives you some energy, especially if you're feeling a little low on energy, you're a little fatigued. I absolutely love it, and I'm incorporating it into my daily routine now. You know, I put a couple drops in my water or into my coffee, because besides all that, just for its great benefits, but I recently found out that I'm hypothyroid now. Good morning, Nina, how are you? And there's essential oils, these doTERRA essential oils actually have a thyroid protocol that I am going to follow, because I told my doctor no thank you to the medication. I told him no way. So I'm going to see what I can do on my own along with all of my holistic approaches, and that's the route I'm going to take. So we'll see what happens. So I'm so glad that you're here with me this morning. And good morning, Joanne. How are you? So let's dive into today's topic about carbs. So do you usually have this brain thought going on, and, you know, I'm going to skip the bread, or maybe you're contemplating a low carb diet, or maybe you're already on one. And it's really common. This is a really common saying. And it's become almost biblical in today's society, in our world, in this dieting obsessed world, the way we think about carbs, almost like it's a bad word. But apparently, you know, we've been looking at it all wrong. We've been looking at it all wrong all along. And I'm going to tell you why, because these carbohydrates, they're actually your friend. They are your main source of energy. That's how your body, you know, wants to get its fuel, all right? So if you're feeling tired or sluggish, you might not be eating enough carbs. So it needs to be treated with respect, really. But there is this common misconception around carbs, okay? And people will say, don't eat it because it's got carbs and it'll make you fat. Have you ever heard somebody say that? Or do you say that too to yourself? There's a lot of negative connotations around carbs that have just been increasingly subjected to over the past 30 years or so. And it's the notion that by eating carbs that you're going to gain more body fat than any other macronutrient source. Hi Valerie, how are you? And our macronutrients, when I say that word, are your carbs, your fats, and your protein. Okay? So if carbs aren't evil, which they are not, then what is? Okay? So it's actually, this is what it is. It's actually the caloric density within the carb, which actually just skyrockets, all right? It skyrockets usually within those best tasting foods that we all just love to indulge in. You know, like the pasta, the chips, the pizza, the pastries, all those, fun, indulging type foods. So these are all the foods that fall under that umbrella of, oh, don't eat it because it's got carbs and it'll make you fat. But when we pull apart the ingredients, then we can actually see, that, okay, it's not just a carb here, okay? There's a lot of other things going on, and there's other variables that are present within that particular food item. So there's also some fat and some protein in there. So the examples of the foods I just mentioned, like the pizza, the pasta, the chips, the breads, the pastries, and so on, those all contain carbs, but they also have the protein and specifically fat as well, which is why it has such a caloric density, okay? Good morning, Kyla. How are you? Thanks for coming on with us. So there are actually 9 carbs. I'm not sorry, nine carbs. I have carb on the brain. 9 calories per gram of fat, while there's actually 4 calories per gram of protein and carbs. So that means that by having the protein and the fat within the food, it's going to increase its overall caloric worth, okay? So calorie balance of any macronutrient ratio is going to determine body composition, not carbs. All right, does that make sense? Let me know if you have any questions as I go along. Just pop it right in the comments for me. I'm happy to answer your questions. So I think it's really hard to argue that, carbs make you fat when you consider that fruits and vegetables are mainly made up of carbs. And I know for a fact that a lot of people don't even realize that fruits and vegetables are carbs. I've worked with people who had no idea that fruits and vegetables were carbs. So by persecuting carbs in the way that we do, it would be like saying, okay, broccoli makes you fat. So this secret to reducing body fat, has for a long time been more about creating a negative energy balance. And that means you need to burn more energy than you consume. So despite your carbohydrate intake, whether it's whatever your carb intake is, it all comes down to how much of it you're consuming, or how calorically dense your particular food is, okay? So by cutting out carbs from your diet, you'll create a calorie deficit, but the same process goes for protein and fat too. So cutting out carbs may create a calorie deficit, but the same result also happens if protein and fat are taken out of the equation, okay? Does that make sense for you? Good morning, Lisa. How are you? Thanks for coming on. You actually caught me while I'm on. It's usually the replay. So I'm so glad you're here with us this morning. So the issue here is that most foods that we eat today, they have all 3 macronutrients, our carbs, our fats, and our protein. So splitting them up usually isn't ideal unless say you like a pizza without toppings. In that case, the most realistic approach is to address your overall caloric worth of food, okay? So then you can realize that carbs can be present within all of your goals, all right? So if you're honoring your hunger and respecting your fullness, you're not going to overeat regardless of whether it's a carb or a fat or a protein, okay? So let me know if that's making sense for you, because we've just put this label on carbs for so long, forever it seems, right? And carbs are not bad. Your body needs them. Your body needs carbs. Your body needs carbs for fuel. It's your main source of fuel for your body. So it's where we get caught up in thinking that carbs are bad for us, or that they make us fat, or that they make us gain weight, is how many calories are actually in that particular carb. So when we are choosing the tastier, less nutrient dense type carbs, yeah, they're going to be higher in calories, and that's the issue with them. It's not that it's a carb, okay? Because like I said, fruits and vegetables are carbs, and that's like I said, like saying like broccoli is going to make you fat, or carrots are going to make you fat. It's not the case. You have to think about what's actually going into your food. And also when I talk about the 3 macronutrients, your carbs, your fats, and your protein, by having a little bit of all of those together within your meal or your snack is going to help keep you nice and balanced. Because when you have too much of one, especially the carb, it's going to spike your insulin, okay? And when that insulin goes up, what happens? It has to come back down, right? Gravity happens. Then it comes back down. And then it usually comes too low, which is the main problem there. And all of a sudden you're just starving, and it doesn't matter what the food is, you just need to shove food in your mouth at that time. You're craving, you're like, I need food now, because your insulin dropped, okay? And that's why you're getting those cravings. But if you keep a nice balance with all three macronutrients together at your meal and your snack, then you're going to have a nice even keel blood sugar at all times, and then you're not going to get that drop in insulin, and you're not going to have those crazy cravings. Okay, so carbs are one of those macronutrients, so it helps to keep that balance with everything. And like I said, your body needs them. It's its main source of fuel. So they're not bad. They're not something to be feared, and you need them. And within eating intuitively and just listening to your body, you know, when you eat them when you're hungry and then stop when you're full and you're satisfied and satiated, then you're not overeating them, and then there's no problem. And you're meeting your goals, and it's great. It's all good. So let me know if you have any questions about that content I just covered, or anything to do with health and wellness in general. I'm happy to answer your questions if you'd like to chat. And I've also condensed my 12-week program down to a nice 4-week program where you have me every single day for super, super massive support and accountability. If you'd like to turn from dieter to intuitive eater, let's go, let's do it. Join me now. The doors are open. No, why wait? Why within 1 month? Less than that. Within the week, you could just be eating intuitively and enjoying all the food you love while meeting your goals. So if that's something you feel like you're interested in or like to look a little bit further into, feel free to reach out, PM me, and we can chat about it and see if it's something that's good for you. And if there's nothing else right now, I am going to hop off. I have a very busy day ahead of me. I have 3 clients, 3 sessions I have to get ready for, and I'm just happy it's Friday and the weekend is here. So I hope you guys have a beautiful weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.